Fishing rods. Is expensive necessarily better? I don't think so. Many people will head to the tackle store to buy a new fishing rod and they'll lay out a lot of their hard-earned cash on a really expensive rod, thinking that they're going to get a fishing rod that'll last them for a lifetime. And it's not always the case. In this video, I'm going to break fishing rods down to two different types. Soft and firm, or graphite and fiberglass. Now there's many different types. There's part graphite, part fiberglass. There's other additives that they put in. There's different composites, and if you look at the marketing, there's all kinds of big words. But for the purpose of this video, to keep it simple, we're going to talk about soft and firm, and we're going to call the soft rods fiberglass and the firm rods graphite. Now, let's look at the soft rod first. I've got a few rods over here to show you, but I'll start with this one. This is a rod that I use. Actually, I won't unwind that. I was going to unwind it, but I don't need to. This is a rod that I use for my Murray cod bait fishing. It is a Shakespeare Sapphire Plus. I've had it for years. I can't even remember where I got it. I've had it so long. A few years back, I took to the bottom with a hacksaw and I sawed off about, I don't know, 20 or 30 centimetres so that it had a nice short butt. It's a soft tipped rod, so if you look at this, it bends a lot. Actually, I will break this down. I will unwind this, and I'll show you what I mean. If I've got a fish on, this rod will bend right over and it is as tough as nails. These soft tip rods, or soft rods, fiberglass rods, they are strong. They're designed to be strong, but they're soft. So when you go to cast them out, they'll flop around a little bit at the end, and it's very hard, very hard to cast them accurately. They're usually a lot cheaper to buy, and they last a lot longer, and in many cases they'll last you a lifetime. I've still got a couple of old Black Queen fishing rods from the 1970s in my shed that I use occasionally. Casting them out is like casting a stick of spaghetti, but they've endured half a century and they're still working. So let's look at this now. This is a Venom. So I know what this is without even looking at it. It's a Venom 6 kilogram bait caster. If you'd asked me what that rod was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you, but I can tell you what this is. This is a very expensive rod. I think it's around about $350 to $400. If you look at the end, it's hardly moving. It's stiff. It's graphite. It might say on here what it's made of, or it might not. It might just, no, it just says Venom 6 kilogram bait caster. We're going to call this a graphite rod. You can go out and spend $300 or $400 on a rod like this and think, it's an expensive rod, but it's going to last me a lifetime. And it may not. This isn't half as strong as the cheap fiberglass rod, but it is a casting machine. A lot of people comment on my videos and say, I can't believe how well you cast. It's because of this expensive rod, and that's why you pay top dollar for one of these rods. You don't. I'm not just talking about Venom. There's heaps of different brands out there, and I've got a couple more to show you shortly. It's You're not paying big dollars for a rod that's super strong and going to last you a lifetime. You're paying big dollars for a rod that is scientifically designed to be firm, which gives better casting, but to load up when you hook a fish. Now these graphite rods, I won't bend it much more than that because I'm likely to snap it. Whereas the fiberglass one, I pulled it right down. Now, there's a thing called high sticking. I'm just going to wander off to the side here a bit. A lot of people break graphite rods when they're high sticking, and I've got a broken rod here that I'll explain. I'll show you shortly what high sticking is. Some people call their fishing rod their stick, and sometimes we hold our stick up high, hence the name high stick. You might have a fish on and it's swimming towards you and you can't keep up, so you lift the rod to take up all the slack. Next thing you know, the rod's high up in the air. Or if you're bait fishing, you might strike really hard and the rod's high up in the air. There's a number of reasons why you might high stick. You might be sitting down in a chair and too lazy to stand up, so you hold the rod up higher. First bite on the cheese. Oh, straight back on. Got him this time though. Oh yes, keep it nice and high or I'll be stopping going in the snags. Oh, whoa. That's a nice fish. Whoa! What high sticking does, it creates an acute angle in which the line is pulling down from the top of the fishing rod. If the line's on that angle, the rod bends like that. But if the line's coming straight down, it tries to bend at the tip, and these expensive graphite rods break. Whereas the soft rods, like the fiberglass rods, they'll last a lot longer when you high stick them. So holding your fishing rod up high creates an acute angle. It's called high sticking, and if you're high sticking with the graphite fishing rod, you are more likely to break it. In fact, let's interrupt this little message right now. Here's a clip of me bait fishing with a light trout rod. It's a graphite rod, it's a firm rod, it's a graphite rod, and I actually say, I've got a massive big carp on, and I start high sticking. I start holding my rod up, and I actually say, I'm high sticking here, I shouldn't be doing this. Then moments later, the rod snaps. I called it because I knew what I was doing was wrong. Check it out. We've got an E flat down to an E. Righto. Come on, we're going to have a carp with a head flat, surely. Oh, come on. This is the hardest part because I'm sort of high sticking my rod here, which isn't a good thing. He is only just hooked with the tiniest little bit of hook on his bottom lip, you know. He is just nipped in the bottom lip. Oh, there's no way I'm going to land this fish. He'll get off in a second. I'm surprised he hasn't already. If he does, I'm not going to be too upset because just removing this carp isn't really going to make much difference to this creek, I don't think. He's got red sore on him like the other one too. I think there's some kind of dermatitis, fish dermatitis going through here or something maybe. Oh, here we go. Time to move in. Time to make the move. Oh shit. Remember what I said a minute ago about you shouldn't high stick? Remember I said, hey, this why? Remember I said I'm high sticking this and you shouldn't probably do that with a graphite rod? Well, that's why. I've just broken a wild bait stick by high sticking a graphite rod. Anyway, it's not the first time you've seen me do that on my channel. Oh, now I've broken the line! No! Oh no! I broke the rod, I broke the line, the carp got off. I'm in a hell of a mess. That was a wild bait rod, a beautiful, beautiful fishing rod, and if I'd been using it correctly, it wouldn't have broken. It wasn't the rod's fault that broke. I knew that I was doing it wrong. I was high sticking. So graphite rods, when you pay big dollars for a graphite rod, you're not getting a stronger rod. As far as strength goes, but you look at cheap rod versus expensive rod, expensive isn't better, cheaper is better. Cheaper will last you longer than what expensive will, because expensive is designed with more casting accuracy, if that makes sense. Let's look at another rod and reel here. Same kind of deal, but a lighter one. This is the one that if you followed my channel for quite a while, you'll see me trolling for redfin and yellowbelly at Lake William Hovell and Lake Nillicooty and Lake Buffalo and other places. This is the rod that I use for that. The reel is a Daiwa Fugo. It's only a couple of years old, but the rod is a Rex Hunt Black Label Deluxe Light Bait Caster. It's a firm rod. It's quite firm. There's not much movement in the end. It's a graphite rod. It's lasted me a long time because I've looked after it, but it's a nice firm rod. Not long before I bought this, I bought this. Now these rods, that rod that I just showed you and this rod, these are from way back in the 1990s. I don't know whether the camera will show you this. This is like a stick of spaghetti. It is wobbling all over the place. This is a soft rod. It's a fiberglass rod. In fact, I think this has got some fancy name. Graphite Coil Construction, whatever that means. This is a Silstar Traverse X. This is a lovely rod. It's really soft. In fact, I should put that reel back on here for trolling because it's great for trolling. Because it's soft, it detects all the strikes. When a fish hits it, it bends right over and they all feel huge and it's a lot of fun to use. But if I was to walk up the banks flicking little lures with this for yellowbelly or something, I would be much better with the rod, with this rod. They're both the same length. But this one's a firm, stiff rod designed for casting. This is a soft tip rod designed for bending and taking up a bit of tension. If I wobble them both the same, this one here's wobbling all over the place. This one's barely moving. So that just gives you an example of soft versus hard. Now, being a graphite rod and being that I'm the most clumsiest fisherman in Australia, I'm surprised that I've had this rod for 30 years and I haven't broken it yet. That's a miracle. Now, graphite rods, one thing I must add, they will last you a lifetime if you look after them. I must have looked after that Rex Hunt rod. Graphite rods generally don't last me nearly as long as what fiberglass rods do, and it's almost always my fault because I do dumb stuff. I've got a few examples of me breaking fishing rods on my YouTube channel, and they've all been graphite rods. Lovely Murray cod. Wow, he's hooked under the mouth. I could lose this fish. He's not actually even hooked in the mouth. Look, he's hooked under the chin. This could be risky. I've got him through. I've managed to keep the line tight. What a lovely Murray cod. Look at how he's hooked. Oh no. Uh-oh. I've just broken another venom fishing rod. You see that? Now, look, there's the top half of my rod. I'm going to tell you in a moment why that rod broke, so that you know not to do what I just done. What happens, graphite rods are designed to bend along the length of the rod, not the tip of the rod. They are designed to bend along the length. Now, unknowingly, as I was lifting that fish out, I was pulling down on pressure like that, which was putting pressure on the tip of the rod and not the whole rod. It's meant to bend like that, not bend like that, if that makes sense. So I should have given the line more slack, but I didn't. I was just so excited that I caught a fish this time of the year when they're patchy and slow, that I put it like that and I broke the top off the rod. And now I'm going to attempt to fish for the rest of the night with a broken venom. It still casts. Got him! Oh, look at that! He hit that on my broken fishing rod with about 2 feet of line. If you're buying a fishing rod for a kid or your grandkid, children and graphite rods are not a good combination. They've got to be very disciplined at leaning them up. If you stand on a graphite rod, you'll just about snap it every time. But kids are much better off with fiberglass rods because they're tougher and they last longer. But once again, they'll lose that casting, that ability to cast. Now look at this. This is a Shimano Raider. It's a spinning rod, but it's a heavy spinning rod. It's 6 kilos or something. A Raider Barra Flick Stick 602, 5 to 8 kilograms, 10 to 30 gram lure weight. So it's 5 to 8 kilograms, whereas this other cod rod, this is 6 kilograms, this is 5 to 8 kilograms, so it's a similar size. What happened, I bought a Piscafun spinning reel off Amazon 4 or 5 years ago now, but I ordered the wrong size. I wanted a trout size and I got a cod size, so I thought I better go out and buy a cod rod, and I put it on here. I used it 2 or 3 times and then I high sticked it. I held it up high while I was fishing. I was snagged and I was trying to yank it off a snag. I was holding it up high and snap. I snapped the tip off. Once again, it was all my fault. But I wanted the graphite because when it wasn't broken, it was good to cast with. It cast with a lot more accuracy than what a soft tip rod would. Oh, something's going to go on my cheese. Oh, I missed it. Finally had a decent bite on my cheese. Didn't steal the cheese, so I'll put it straight back out there. First bite on the cheese. Oh, straight back on. Got him this time though. Oh yes, keep it nice and high, Robbie. Stop him going in the snags. Oh, whoa. That's a nice fish. Whoa. There's a bit of weight in this fish. I just got to keep it out of the snags. I've had a disaster. I reckon this could be a 60 or 70 centimetre cod if I'm lucky. Oh, there's a bit of weight in this fish. Oh, look at that. Big. Oh yeah, he's 75 or so, I reckon. Oh, whoa. Where's my net? Oh, how do I get... I don't want to give it any slack, but I'm going to... There we go. Probably been sitting here pigging out on small carp. Wish I had someone with me to get a photo of this. Biggest cod I've caught for a couple of years. Come on, buddy. Come on, big guru. Into the net. Be a disaster if I looked at my camera and realised that I wasn't recording, because this is, if nothing else, going to be a good memory. That is a lovely fish. That is a decent fish. Biggest one I've caught for quite a while. Get in the net. Oh, you ripper. Oh, that's 15 or 20 pound. Look at the size of it. Woohoo. Yeah, I'm going to get a quick photo and a measure and put it back. Folks, I hope you've learnt something from this video. Just a couple of takeaways. 2 different types of rod. Forget all the marketing, forget the big fancy words. 2 different types of rod. Soft and firm, or you can call them graphite and fiberglass. Fiberglass is soft and it's stronger. It's better for kids and they generally last a lot longer. Graphite is much better for casting accuracy, ideal for lure fishing, not so great for bait fishing, and if you buy them for kids they might not last very long. They will last a long time if you look after them. I hope you've learned something from this video. Thank you all very much for watching.